Hello everyone, welcome to another royal reading here at MadWorldTarot. And today we're carrying on with Is There Trouble in Paradise theme. Strange stories kind of bubbling away, and one popped up in Radar Online, which I know is a dubious source, but it seems to be being used by various parties to brief and counter-brief. And this story concerns the rumored secret daughter. And it tells us, it reminds us about that rumored secret daughter. It says that rumors that Meghan Markle has spent years hiding her secret daughter have resurfaced as gossip mounts that her marriage to Harry is dead, tells us that there is growing chat that Harry and Meghan are secretly leading separate lives and are poised to announce a divorce. Yes, say my cards. I read on this copiously, and certainly what my cards tell me. But it's interesting that the secret daughter story has popped up. And they go up to dredge that rumoured, shall we say alleged, first marriage to Joseph Goldberg Giuliano. And this is the guy that she allegedly met at Northwestern. They got married allegedly because she was pregnant. Parents had a fit, his parents, not hers, and got the marriage annulled. That's a long-standing rumor. We're not going to look at that. A lot of people say that he has raised their daughter because he does have a biracial daughter. He does happen also to have a partner who is a woman of color. So not saying, then they go on about Noel Rasmussen, the niece, Samantha's daughter, and they dredge up the rumor that in fact is Meghan's daughter. You do the maths, and Meghan would have had to be 12 or 13. A very young teen pregnancy, so not likely. But anyway, I don't care about who the daughter might be, or where the daughter might be, or whether there was a first marriage that got annulled. I want to know who is behind this story and why it's popping up now. I want to know, is the takedown of Meghan Markle underway? I'm using the Apprentice Tarot. I just want to keep it simple today. Little 5-card reading after that extensive preamble. We're going to just check in with the story. We're going to ask if Meghan did actually have a daughter. There was famously someone at a golf event who hosted or ran those golf events where they got the girlies along to serve drinks and caddy and whatever, and Meghan was at one of those. And this woman said, well done to Meghan for catching a prince. She's a divorcee and a single mother and blah, blah, blah. Famous clip that's still around. So there have always been stories about maybe a daughter, a child somewhere from early on, late teens, early 20s. We're going to ask that question. We're going to ask the question, does the has-been know about this? And we're going to ask, who is behind this Radar Online article, and why now is this the start of the takedown of Meghan Markle to make it easier for Harry to slide away? He's got a big problem with his own 2 mystery children, of course. So the fact that Meghan might have had a secret daughter, I don't think is the worst of her troubles, or his. But that's just my opinion, and this is just tarot, and this is for fun and entertainment, and it is all just my opinion, and it is all just speculation, and I just read energy. And disclaimer in the box below. Let's go. 5-card reading, Apprentice Tarot. What is what? What is going on? It seems to me, just energetically speaking, that a lot is going on behind the scenes, and we're going to dig into some of that in the next reading. For now, just checking up on this Radar Online. Bit of gossip. Dog next door barking. Yappity yap. Queen of Pentacles. Underlying energy. Queen of Pentacles is motherly care. Says it all. Home-centered, loves nature. It's the persona that Meghan is trying to cultivate now as, the gracious hostess, the woman who knows her way around the kitchen and the vegetable garden and all of that. Grounded, earthy, generous, very maternal. She's the wife, of course, the good mother of the tarot. Holding that pentacle, which would be a child. in this kind of context. So there it is. That's what we're looking at. Child that allegedly was not raised by her and was farmed out to family member or kept by maybe previous husband or something like that. We don't know, but there is the energy. That's the underlying energy. If the yappity carries on, I'll have to pause. But let's get to it in the meantime. We've got the Hanged Man as the underlying energy. And this is the sacrifice card, powerlessness card, the victim card. Tells me that someone is being martyred right here. And this was my speculation, my thinking that it might be time for Meghan to be sacrificed on the altar of has-been's need to get back in with the royal family. Scurry away from a toxic relationship and possible bankruptcy. That's just my reading. Let's just take a little break. Right, yappity yap seems to have died down for the time being. We're dealing with the central issue of this reading, the Hanged Man. As I say, it's reading for me as Meghan being hung out to dry, which is unusual. She very seldom comes through in that kind of energy. It's also the perspective card, as someone is dangling there, waiting for certain things to change and to happen. They get a different perspective. That would be Harry's energy, potentially, that Harry is seeing his situation quite differently, seeing his relationship quite differently, seeing Meghan quite differently, given circumstances. And the circumstances are par. And we're going to look at that in the next reading. So there's a lot going on in that card. It's a serious card, the Hanged Man. It's uncomfortable energy. And I think they're both in that uncomfortable energy. And of course, this Radar Online story, the part I'm not dwelling on because I have dwelt on it so much recently, is the marital the collapse of the marriage that they are reminding us about. Growing chat that they are secretly leading separate lives and poised to announce a divorce. Wonder what happens to the Diana documentary if Meghan's got the first look contract with Netflix. Don't know. We'll get to that. Let's have a look at the critical question. Did she have a child, a daughter, a long time ago, relatively, for her? Does she have a daughter? Ooh, we've got the devil. We've got the devil. And the devil is the great deceiver of the tarot, even greater deceiver than the magician, in my opinion. So it's possible that something happened. There's the couple chained to the devil there. And unhealthy attachment. As I say, the rumor always was, and it's never quite gone away. It's never been proven and it's never been disproved, that alleged first marriage that was annulled. There it is showing up potentially. It doesn't have to be him, but there is potential in that energy of young couple. Things went in a direction that parents might have thought was toxic and wanted to rescue son from. That kind of thing is possible in the energy. I'm not saying it did happen, but as an energy reader, reading tarot, interpreting tarot cards for fun and entertainment, the devil card is quite graphically giving that story or representing that story with those two chained together. Chained together by what? Chained together by something that is very difficult to dissociate from if there was a child. Whether that relationship or another relationship, who knows? Again, as I say, I'm not specifically singling that situation out. I'm just asking generally, did she have a daughter? Is there something going on? And I get the devil, toxic deceiver card. So I would say smoke and fire, in my opinion. Does Harry know? What does Harry know about Meghan's past? And I've got the King of Swords and it's in reverse. Mentally unprepared. Cold, hard truth. I think that he has come to some harsh realizations about the woman he married. We all heard the story about when they got together, and the British press was dredging up all these stories, and Harry would ask her, is it true? What's going on? And she'd collapse on the floor sobbing. Can't understand why the press is saying such terrible things about me, or people in the comment section of the Daily Mail or on Tumblr or wherever. This is men in grey suits. This is lawyers. This is perhaps someone who's finally got through to him, which is quite strange. Someone quite senior, someone he might be forced to believe that he didn't want to believe. But it looks to me as someone has finally penetrated through the great fog. The Hanged Man is fog energy, is Neptunian energy, and that is the great fog. The fog is clearing. Is beginning to get a clue, is beginning to see perceive some ugly truths, according to the card, of what might have gone on, and very difficult for him to process, difficult for him to handle if this is true. I'm reading energy, of course, and the great big allegedly sign is flashing like crazy on the tarot table as I'm doing this reading. So let's move on to who is behind this Radar Online story. This very odd story that just popped up out of nowhere. Who is behind it? Ooh, the Four of Wands. It's very close to home. Very close to home. That card is the Happy Home card. It's, of course, celebrations. It's very much a wedding card. It's the Happy Couple card who've just got married and are settling down, because it's the firm, the stable home. And it is also, drum roll, the firm for me as a tarot reader. I would say, people always say the calls are coming from inside the house. When Harry's going on about how they're harassed by the press and they can't go anywhere without being packed, people say the calls are coming from inside the house. I would say this is the calls are coming from inside the house, but the roles are reversed now. You can join the dots and come to your own conclusions about that, but oh my, if that is true. I'm just saying, I'm just speculating. So let's ask the million-dollar question. Why? Why this story now in Radar Online? And it's being passed around and commented on. It's not like it hasn't been picked up and noticed. I saw it when it first popped up, and I'm seeing it all over the place now. So why? Why are we getting this story? We've got the Queen of Wands. That's a Megan card. That's her in a very powerful position, which kind of complicates the scenario that is coming through in this reading. It's her in her prime, in her power, in her sort of archetypal energy, the Queen of Wands. Very much the center of attention, very much, or look at me, it says strong, self-assured, charismatic, extroverted, independent, enthusiastic, inspires others. I'm getting that it's potentially a takedown of this persona, because it's sitting under the devil, this card. That is that. But it could just also be that there's a very complicated chess game going on. And I wouldn't put it past little Miss Markle to have put the story out there herself. When I say the calls are coming from inside, there's just a possibility that she herself is behind this. And I'm speculating like crazy here, of course, tarot reader, all the whole thing, the disclaimer in the box below. Why would she do that? Your guess is as good as mine, but I'm not putting it past her to do this now. And for some reason, maybe see how all the rumours are, how the press conspires against me, poor me, all these terrible rumours attacking my niece, claiming that I had a marriage that was annulled, all of this stuff. It could be that kind of game that's being played. Just saying. Very, very interesting. Either way. That's your reading. Thanks to sorry to leave it so open-ended, but there it is. Something's going on, that's for sure. And perhaps we'll get some clarity in the next reading. Hope to see you over there.